Rachel Seminary friends. My name is Dan Zuch.
And I'm Rachel Zuch. Both Dan and I have been impacted greatly by what has become Missio Seminary.
I am a 1987 MDiv graduate, and Rachel has taken part in the Global Trauma Recovery Program.
We've been living and serving here in Vienna, Austria since 1989 with TEAM, the Evangelical Alliance Mission. We came as church planters, have planted a church, and now are serving in other areas as well in Austria and in Germany.
Here in Austria, in the city of Vienna, the quality of life is very high. Infrastructure, healthcare, security, stability, environment, natural beauty, and a strong economy all contribute to high international ratings year after year.
And yet, at the same time, if you look more closely, there's an underbelly of brokenness which shows itself in relationships, in addictions, in social injustices, and even idolatries. Even with the high quality of life, many people are desperately hurting and searching for answers.
Although Austria is Catholic Christian in its history, most people are no longer looking to Christianity for answers. Been there, done that mentality is prevalent. People who are seeking for religious, spiritual answers often turn to Eastern religions and various New Age philosophies.
And some of those broken people are more hidden. Particularly women and men in prostitution or those who are survivors of human trafficking. Little did we know when God brought us here that He would lead us to them to share His love. It all began with a prayer meeting and led to forming an NGO, Herzwerk, or Heartworks as it's known in English. It's our mission to communicate the unconditional love of God in a holistic way to people who are being exploited through prostitution.
We are so thankful for the investment of Biblical Seminary, now Missio Seminary, in our lives. The seminary certainly couldn't and didn't prepare us for everything, but it did lay a foundation that we've continued to build upon for the past 30 plus years. What are some of those cinder blocks in the foundation?
Integrity.
Approaching the scriptures with expectation and humility. Learning to differentiate between clear and unclear things in the Bible. I remember my very first day of class in the Hatfield Auditorium when Mr. Dunsweiler went over biblical's understanding of scholarship. I was so moved and felt like I could breathe again after a less than satisfying undergraduate experience. I still have that handout, Some Characteristics of Scholarship, A Question of Ethics, to which I occasionally refer.
Humor.
Although seminary certainly was not all fun and games, there was a culture of joy with humor. I remember sitting in beginning Hebrew course with Mr. Harding when George, a very cool guy who had been wonderfully saved out of the drug scene, began reciting the Hebrew alphabet kind of like a rap song. That was how George could memorize best. Mr. Harding cracked up and the whole class joined him, laughing until we all cried almost.
It's a safe place to ask honest questions.
I was wrestling with some significant theological concepts. I went down to Mr. Taylor's print shop office in the basement of the Hatfield campus, and as he printed, he listened carefully, asked me some good questions, and gave me his perspective on things. I felt so safe asking the questions I did. That safety, and not just the answers, was what I needed then, and something I've tried to emulate in our ministry here in Europe.
And keeping the gospel and Jesus central.
Dr. Vinoy's class on Old Testament history led to our journey of becoming cross-cultural missionaries. As we looked more closely at God's promise to Abraham, the Abrahamic covenant, Dr. Vinoy traced the fulfillment of that throughout the scriptures to Revelation, with its culmination in Jesus and application to the church and missions. That big picture perspective of what was central in the Bible was one of the things God used to lead us to join him in his ministry to people here in Austria and Germany.
As you can hopefully tell by now, we are very thankful for Missio Seminary, and we're especially excited about the intensified missional emphasis with the move to Center City, Philadelphia, in order to continue equipping women and men to follow Jesus into the world.
And we would love to see him lead some of you to join us here in Austria and in Germany.
God's grace and peace to you all.
Auf Wiedersehen.